Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast. Welcome to another Cup Series race review. Today, Watkins Glen got to see some tempers flaring, and NASCAR's most popular driver won the race. So it was a 10 out of 10 day for NASCAR.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real exciting race. I mean, even drivers got tempers flaring, and it's just intense and tough battle towards the end. So it's pretty. I think it's a really great race.
So first up, Chase Elliott on the pole. He seemed like he was the fastest car on the shorter run, but it seemed like Kyle Busch and Truex and even Denny Hamlin was faster on the long run, but they just could never get the track position to really capitalize on it. One of those reasons why is because Kyle Busch spun on the second lap actually, so he's trying to get around William Byron, and I don't know if he just made a mistake or if maybe it's the way that the dirty air was. It just knocked him around. But
yeah, I mean, William Byron didn't do anything wrong at that point. He just run his line. I believe Kyle Busch was trying to break him coming in the corner, and just got loose. I mean, just try not to run into William. And I don't even really think that he made any contact. He just went wide wheel hopped and spun around.
yeah, so nothing else really happened besides Chase Elliott getting out to like a 3-second lead, and also some pit strategy by the Fords. They seemed to really struggle this weekend, so they pitted before the stage end, try to get some track position. And then stage 2, after the cool down lap for the caution laps, William Byron would decide to destroy his car on Kyle Busch. Because Kyle Busch was, a couple laps before the end of the stage, he would knock William Byron into the grass, and William Byron decided he wanted to try to clean it off with his bumper.
Yeah, he just pushed him to the bus stop, and I guess he got mad because he didn't get to stop for the bus.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I ain't sure if it was intentional or not. I mean, I ain't sure if Kyle thought that William did anything wrong, on lap 2. And then come down to the bus stop, and I think Kyle just kind of just pushed him a little further into the stop, and we didn't want to go. Then we went to the grass, and I think William's okay with it, but Chad Canals, he's like, you better, don't let him pass without you hitting him or something, So William Byron just thought he'd just go and try to wreck him.
Yeah, a little bit of peer pressure from Chad Canals, and I think Chad lost his cool a little bit. I don't think it was worth, ending your day, because William had a car to contend for the win, but after that point, we never saw him again.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Busch was kind of ready for him. He saw him in his mirror coming up or speeding up to him, so he brake checked him. And William Byron come out with the most damage. So
yeah, and
I mean, if you go and retaliate with somebody, just try to get to their bumper in a turn or something and turn them around. That way you ruin their day. You're gonna ruin your day.
I mean, Kyle Busch is used to people treating him like that. I guess he's used to. He knows when these shots are coming and is really prepared for it. And can't say blame neither one of them, but also. Kyle Busch, I think pushing William Byron through the bus stop was really not a great idea.
No, not really.
I mean, it's like once the playoffs start and you're getting all these people angry, and if they don't make the playoffs, they have nothing to lose. They can really make your weeks long and tough.
Yeah, if you're going to retaliate the right way, But don't just kill your car. Hey Chad, this is how you want me to do. No, I think that's not what I want.
So Kyle Busch would be speeding on pit road. Kyle Larson would stay out, and then it'd be Harvick on the outside. Parker Kligerman would spin right before I think pit stop started happening. And then we had a caution for the 77. He had a part failure, so unfortunate end to his day.
Yep.
And then it would be Chase Elliott versus Harvick on the restart. Bubba Wallace would get spun, and at this point we did not know why. We just knew he spun.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to Bubba Wallace, it was because Kyle Busch spun him. And, even during practice, Kyle Busch was, pushing some of the slower cars throughout the carousel, and I think maybe that's what happened, trying to get Bubba out of the way and just
Probably
spun him.
so. I mean, really the way Truex and Kyle Busch was running, I think owned the place. They just push everybody out of the way. I know at that one time, Truex tried to run in the grass, tried to get around Brad, and it's just like, I know y'all got good cars, and you got to use them when you can, and just be a little smart about it.
Yeah, it just shows the importance of track position.
Yeah.
If you don't get this now, you're never going to get it. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why we saw that. But, in terms of lap cars, I think maybe it's a little too much.
Yeah. And Kyle made some good moves all day, and he just moved up to the field, even with all the damage he had on his car.
So then Chase Elliott would win stage 2. And then it'd be Chase Elliott versus Martin Truex Jr. in the next restart. Then Ryan Newman had a flat tire. They could come into the pits, so no caution. And then Daniel Hemrick would spin through the bus stops. He'd keep going.
He come in a little hot and coming in there, and I can't remember who he hit, but I knew Daniel was trying to stay off of him and kind of spun over the wall, but he continued on.
Then Martin Truex Jr. was really catching Chase right there on his bumper. He just couldn't really get a good run around him or anything because Chase was faster than him in all the right places for Chase to stay ahead. So
yeah, it's like one end of the track, Chase is real good. The other end of the track, Truex is good, and really with his aero package, he really couldn't make any kind of moves when he needed to. So, man, I think it's some really great racing by both of them. They both figured out this track really great, and it's pretty much equal. I mean, it's just they put on a good show.
Yeah, and neither one of them made a mistake. That last stint there, we'll talk about a little bit more in a little bit, but 20 or so laps at Watkins Glen. I mean, that's not 20 laps at Bristol. That's like 20 minutes, probably a little bit longer than that. So that's 20 minutes. Neither one of them made a huge mistake. So
and there's a lot of braking zones and a lot of turns and a lot of places to make mistakes. I mean, it was just spot on, and it was just a lot of fun to watch both of them race, and it's cool.
And then Jimmy Johnson would spin, and then a couple seconds after that, Bubba Wallace would spin Kyle Busch, and it was just insane because we wasn't sure why that happened with Bubba and Kyle Busch, but apparently it was because that incident earlier.
Yeah, because he said he spun him just because he spun him an incident earlier, and Kyle Busch wasn't making no friends out there today. He was just everybody just bowling for him.
Yeah, so this makes Michigan a little interesting, I think, because there's a lot of those people who was getting in incidents who are not locked into the playoffs, which Kyle Busch doesn't have to worry about it. But, when you think about it, you got Jimmy Johnson, who was angry at Ryan Blaney because of his spin. So when they go to Michigan, it runs like a super speedway a little bit, not exactly. But that's going to be places where you're going to have to, maybe catch a break once or twice during the race. And if you have to catch a break from that certain somebody, you're not getting that break. So I'm really looking forward to Michigan because of all these tempers flaring.
Yeah, we had two different opinions on that incident with Ryan Blaney and Jimmy Johnson. Johnson said that Blaney just ran through him, but Blaney's take was, that Johnson come off the bus stops a little different, and he saw a lane open and he was going for it, and it closed up, and he tried to back out, but couldn't back out soon enough, and that's kind of what I see on the video of it. But I think it's just a racing incident. I don't think Blaney intentionally tried to wreck Jimmy, but here's our two low key guys, and here they are at each other. So it's pretty cool. the tempers are flaring, the intensity's picking up, and it's just a great battle all year.
Yeah, and we didn't really get to see a good angle of that wreck. We just saw, that happened during NASCAR nonstop, so I guess they didn't have, thousands of angles like they normally would. But, we just have that weird, awkward angle where he's already spinning, so we couldn't really say exactly if Ryan Blaney intentionally spun him or not, but it looks like he didn't. And I don't really think Ryan Blaney would, but also...
Yeah, Blaney, he was really good in the bus stop. I mean, he was really making a lot of ground up in there, and he was really fast, and maybe Jimmy's a little slow, and Blaney just got up on him faster than what I expected. So, I mean, it's just a racing incident. I mean, I don't need to have any kind of thing after this.
But I'm pretty sure there will be.
Probably so.
Unfortunately for both of them, because Jimmy's, he's right now in the playoffs, I think, but not by much. I think it may be tied. If not, it's like 11 or 12. So definitely not a big buffer for him. So, with Ryan Newman having his issues, and Clint Boyer had a flat tire as well. So it seems like when one of them has a bad day, they all do. So, none of them gets to capitalize ever.
Yeah, because Jimmy, he's trying to get above that bubble, the cutoff place, and then everybody that touches him, he just gets all mad at. But because he's had a new crew chief change, and so he's trying to just get a spark going, and maybe do well to the playoffs.
Yeah. So after this, it would just be a great battle between Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott, and with the way the dirty air was, Truex couldn't ever get a perfect run. I guess he didn't really want to try to move him out of the way or spin him. Thankfully, he didn't do any of that. So we did get to see a great battle between probably the two best at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, because Chase, he was really good through the S's. He spread it out through the S's. But the breaking points is Mark Truex is really good at. So, it was a cool battle, and Martin, he wasn't giving up, and he'd lose a little ground, and he'd gain a little ground. So, he's probably beating himself up days like woulda, shoulda, coulda, but
should have just went through the grass, took him out or something.
But they were just hitting their marks where they needed to, and Chase, he ran a perfect race, and Truex, he ran a perfect race. So neither one of them made a mistake. So how can you gain anything?
Well, that was good for Chase that he ran a perfect race, and Truex as well. But for Truex, he's like, I wish he didn't have a perfect race.
Yeah, come on.
Like last year, if Chase would have made that mistake he did last year, definitely Truex would have got it. But
definitely,
that's just some great hardcore racing out of Watkins Glen that we normally get to see. For some reason, it's always these two guys just get up front of everybody. So
yeah, last restart, it was like Truex and Chase, they kind of got into each other before they went to turn one. I don't know if that's just to try to mess the other one up, and then it was beating and banging coming out of turn one.
Yeah, that's that. How valuable that clean air is. You got to get on the restart. You're right there with them. So I think I was just because of that, because whoever got in front of each other, that's pretty much who's going to just lead the rest of the way. So there's nothing you can really do about the dirty air. I mean, you can decrease it a little bit, but it seems like with the way that the packages are going, we're increasing the effects of dirty air, which is unfortunate. But for these drivers, you just have to find ways around it, and unfortunately for Truex, he just couldn't find a way around it.
No, and it had a good run by Matt DiBenedetto, finished 6th. I mean, he's putting some good races together here lately.
Yeah, and then Kyle Busch, after getting spun once or twice, he ended up 11th. So still a good solid day for him.
Ain't no stopping him. And Blaney come back and finish 5th. I mean, he had a really good car. I mean, if they didn't have the troubles with changing suspension and all that, and starting in 37th, then hard to tell what he'd have done.
Yeah, he just couldn't ever get that track position, and then now he's got to worry about Jimmy Johnson in Michigan possibly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's going to be interesting at Michigan because, some guys are going to be wanting a break, if they need to cut down to the low line. Then that certain somebody is right there.
Yeah.
So,
so maybe also William Byron need to go back and watch the footage of Bubba Wallace. And I guess Bubba's trying to tell him, here's how you spin him.
Yeah.
So, here's how you retaliate.
Yeah, and that's going to be another interesting story at Michigan. With William Byron, he's trying to make the playoffs, so I don't really expect him to go there and wreck his car. But Bubba Wallace, he's far away from the cut line, so if he wants to get another shot at Kyle Busch, I don't think he would, but
yeah,
that's definitely a good place to do it.
Yeah, he probably picked up a lot of fans. Either like Kyle Busch or you don't. So it's fun watching racing like that. But yeah, long William Byron keeps his nose clean. Don't just run in the back of any more cars. So.
And then if we don't see anything from Michigan, where do we go to after that? We go to Bristol.
We'll sell it out to Coliseum.
Yeah, and then we get a off week, and then we go to Darlington. So.
Wow. So a lot of short tracks, and the temperature's already flaring now. So I guess it's a.
I'd be going ahead and calling people and saying sorry because you're going to have a rough.
We might get to the short tracks and look, everybody's minds and manners. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so who knows? We hadn't even got to the playoffs yet, so I expect some intense playoff races next couple of months. So hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you for our Fast Picks episode for Michigan coming up Fridays, and then our race reviews throughout the weekend. So we'll see you then.